Here's a secret that you need to know about the purpose of your awakening journey. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I help people to navigate their spiritual awakening so they can stay on a conscious path of ascension. In this video, I'm going to share some special information with you guys that no one else is talking about that you really need to know to clearly understand the real purpose behind your spiritual awakening. But before I talk about that, I want to let you guys know that starting tomorrow morning, I will be launching a brand new digital program, Meditation for Spiritual Awakening. I'm so excited about this, you guys. So if you want to know more, there's a link in the description below. Just click on that link and you can find out all about it. All right, so let's talk about this very important information that will help you understand the central purpose of your spiritual awakening. Now, I'm going to keep this focused mainly on one singular point, because when you are focused on this one singular point, you will always be able to come back to your center and avoid any confusion as you undergo your spiritual awakening and your ascension journey. And this is also going to really help you guys avoid getting overly caught up in all of the different crises that our planet is experiencing right now. So the essence of a spiritual awakening is really very simple. It has to do with bringing us into a state of balance on this planet and in the universe. Because you see, you guys, right now we are really out of balance because of how we've been conditioned from birth. Our out of balance state is that our primary influence comes from the outer world and very little influence comes from the inner world. And I just want to be clear, when I talk about the inner world, I'm not talking about your inner thoughts and your emotions. Because what often happens with thoughts and emotions is those exist as a reaction to the outer world, which is why our thoughts and emotions can often feel like they are all over the place and out of our control. Because the thoughts and emotions are over top of what's underneath, which is the truth of who we are as infinite creators. So a big part of your spiritual awakening is to bring your energy back into that inner world so you can radiate out in full presence and strength and actually have an influence on what is happening in your outer world. See, a lot of what causes so much confusion in life is that outer world is extremely unpredictable, it's disorganized, it's controlled by all these different factions. And, you never know from day to day what sort of energy is going to be hitting you and how you're going to be reacting to it. So it makes it really, really difficult to navigate through life. So ascension energy is what actually brings about a spiritual awakening. Ascension energy amplifies your inner light, strengthens it, causes it to begin to radiate into your experience at a conscious level. So you become aware of yourself as an infinite being. At the same time, you're still being bombarded by the outer world. And that's why a spiritual awakening can be very confusing until you bring yourself into balance. So here's what you really need to know about this situation. This is really fascinating, you guys. You're going to just be so amazed at how simple and profound this secret information. It's not really secret, it's just something that no one ever talks about, okay? But how profound this information is. So I want you to picture something for a moment. Doesn't it make sense that who we are from within ourselves, our infinite selves, our cosmic creator selves, is a presence and a power of light that is meant to radiate outward and produce influence and creation from a place of love? I mean, doesn't that make sense, right? Because you see, your infinite presence is sourced in the omnipresent love that creates the entire cosmos. Therefore, your inner being is sourced in love. Your inner being exists as an expression of love itself. So then you might ask, well, why doesn't it just manifest, right? But here's where we have a problem. Here is where the ultimate conflict exists, you guys, and this is one of the biggest secrets that everybody needs to know. The ultimate conflict exists in this particular way. The energy from the outer world is moving in opposition to who we really are. So we have ourselves who are meant to exist in that radiating flow, that radiance of expression and expansion. But then we have the outer world that's pressing in against us in the opposite flow of energy. Now, there are specific reasons why this is happening. It has to do with the physics of our universe and the condition it's in right now. I'm not going to get into all of that in this video, but let me just say this much. The energy of that outer world is fear-based, you guys. It's not love-based. So the energy from our inner world is love-based. The energy from the outer world is fear-based. Now you might say, well, you know, Saratoga, I do experience love from the outer world. Well, of course you do, because some of that love does get out. I mean, we do have the capacity to express some love. We do have the capacity to create goodness. So yes, you're going to experience positive energy. You're going to experience love in the outer world, but it's a struggle for people to get it out, right? I mean, we have to work really hard in our lives to manifest love at all times, and almost no one can do that. The reason we can't is because we're always being confronted with this fear-based influence from the outside that creates confusion, that is out of alignment, that creates discord, and on it goes. So here's where we run into trouble. We run into trouble when we try to rely on the outer world as our chief source of support. Because in doing so, we're actually relying on an energy that is fundamentally based in fear. So a spiritual awakening is designed to shift your consciousness in such a way that you more and more learn to rely on the inner world, which is sourced in love, as your source of support. Because your inner world is always reliable. It's always consistent. Now, you just have to remember that your inner world is not your thoughts and it's not your emotions, okay? Remember, thoughts and emotions are generally reacting to the outer world. That's why they seem so up and down and confusing and all over the place. However, here's something really interesting to think about. If you were able to completely rely on your inner world and that permanent source of omnipresent love, on that consistent source of love, you know what that does to your thoughts and emotions? It smooths them out. It evens them out. It calms them down. It makes them coherent with you. So most, if not all, of our problems in life are created by an incoherent energy coming from the outside that's confused, that's fear-based, that's unpredictable, it's all over the place, conflicting with that radiant source of love and positivity of who we really are. So we're in a state of imbalance and discord almost all the time. So one more quick thing I want to add to this about fear. Fear is actually the absence of love. It is the absence of an experience of the creator, of source energy, of the infinite love that creates all things. So there is a problem in this universe because it shouldn't be happening this way, you guys. It shouldn't be that there's this conflicting reverse energy that's bombarding us in opposition to the flow of energy of who we really are. See, if all was right in the universe, all of the energy would be coherent and you would have massive, amazing, beautiful, phenomenal creation happening everywhere. There'd be no death, there'd be no suffering, no pain, none of this stuff, no conflict, no wars, none of it. So this is the ultimate correction that all of the different ascension processes in the universe are attempting to resolve. So I want you to just think about your individual part in that massive correction in the entire universe. Our individual part as human beings is to support and nurture our spiritual awakening. Remember, the essence of a spiritual awakening is your inner light, your inner presence, the infinite you that never dies, waking up in the physical world and saying, oh my goodness, look where I am. You see, becoming conscious of your true self. That's what a spiritual awakening is all about. Now, the main thing that we need to do in a spiritual awakening is learning to trust that inner presence of who we really are, learning to connect with who we are and trust it. Because if we don't make an effort to do that on an everyday basis, what happens is that light is still being illuminated by the Ascension energy, but we can be very confused and ungrounded in that experience. Like, well, what's happening? I don't understand. What's going on? Everything feels different. I'm not quite sure who I am or what I should be doing or what's going on in the world. And it can just create a lot of, just kind of like disrupted energy and experiences. So what we want to do is we want to come into focus, come into our center, go within. This is why I always tell you guys meditation is the key, right? You want to go into a meditative state. You want to connect with that inner self. And the more you connect with your inner being, the more familiar you get with who you really are, the more comfortable and confident you begin to feel with yourself. And what happens is your orientation starts to shift. Your orientation starts to shift into who you are as a true cosmic being, as a true infinite being. Your orientation starts to shift, and now your wake up starts to be your spiritual awakening starts to become truly empowered. So as always, I want to encourage you guys to make meditation a habit, make it a daily habit. If you're already doing it, keep doing it. If you would like more help, if you're a beginner, if you're not sure how to proceed in a way that corresponds to your spiritual awakening, remember to click that link below and check out my Meditation for Spiritual Awakening course, because I created that especially to resolve this issue for you guys, so that you can actually have support and a way to address every single situation that you might encounter during your spiritual awakening and your ascension journey. Just make sure that you take time every day to just be with yourself. Get comfortable with who you are from within. Get familiar. Become your own best friend. Become knowledgeable of you just by being with you without all the other outside influences. And you're going to be amazed at how incredible you actually are for real. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it out with your friends. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday with brand new videos designed to support you on your awakening journey. With that, I'm sending you all loads of love, light, and positive energy. Have an awesome day, my friends. Namaste.